While everybody knows Terrell Owens for being one of the best wide receivers in the history of the NFL, and of course for all of his off-the-field antics, there's one thing that a lot of people don't know, and that is that he was part of one of the most unusual trades in NFL history.
I have to admit, I didn't see this coming.
T.O. was not a really highly recruited athlete. He went to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. And while he was there, he played basketball, football, and he ran track. So he was quite the athlete, but not that highly recruited. Going into the NFL, he was seen as a promising prospect, but certainly not a can't-miss prospect. He was picked near the end of the third round with the 89th overall pick to the San Francisco 49ers. And for T.O.'s first few years in San Francisco, him and Jerry Rice were one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL. I mean, you just add the best wide receiver ever and potentially the third or fourth best wide receiver ever on the same team, and it was about as electric as you can imagine. Now, of course, Jerry Rice was a bit old at the time, but still. And in 2000, T.O. had his real breakout season where he was a first-team All-Pro and first-time Pro Bowler. He had almost 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns that year, and his career just kicked off from there. He had 3 straight All-Pro seasons and a Pro Bowl season in 2003 when he was 30 years old. However, at this point, after the 2003 season, the off-the-field antics and just the team and T.O. were not getting along anymore, and it was really time to part ways. Going into the 2004 offseason is where this gets very interesting. T.O. and his agent actually thought that they were free agents at the time. The 49ers, on the other hand, believed that T.O. had to opt out of his contract before the year started, or he would still be on the team. And the time went, and of course, since T.O. didn't think he had to opt out, he didn't, so the 49ers believed he was still a 49er, but they didn't want him on the team anymore, so they traded him to the Baltimore Ravens for a second-round pick. So this is some pretty high compensation. A second-round pick can get you an elite player, and the Ravens believed that they would get him at a deal of 3 years for $17 million, which was well below his market rate. So at this point, the 49ers are happy, the Ravens are really happy, but that just leaves one guy, T.O., who is very unhappy, and he is not scared to say it.
Let's see your everything is okay face.
T.O., believing he's a free agent, actually negotiated a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles for 7 years, $49 million. So of course, this is way more money, and it is to the team that he wants to play for. Of course, he wants to go there instead of the Ravens. Not to mention, the Eagles were an elite team at this point and had an up-and-coming coach and quarterback in Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid. So in response to T.O. learning that he was being traded to the Ravens, he filed an official grievance with the NFL.
These are our demands. This is what we want. Our balls are in your court.
And this really could have gone anywhere for a little bit. Nobody knew what the outcome would be. The NFL scheduled an independent arbitrator to read the contracts, decide what was right, but before that could happen, the NFL and the 3 teams involved got together and made a settlement.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
What ended up happening is the Ravens, all they got was they got their second round pick back. The 49ers got a conditional 5th round pick from the Eagles, and the Eagles got T.O. So, as we can all tell from this, the NFL and the group thought that T.O. was right. Or they thought that he was going to complain enough to be so annoying that even though he's not right, you might as well let him have it. So in March of 2004, T.O. not only got traded to the Ravens, but also the Eagles. So how would it end up turning out? And very well for the Eagles. In 2004, T.O. was a first-team All-Pro and was the dynamic weapon on the Eagles that led them to the Super Bowl. Well, I guess he didn't lead them to the Super Bowl because he got hurt and he had a broken leg. However, with the broken leg, against doctors' wishes, he played in the Super Bowl against the Patriots and had a really good game and actually kept the Eagles in it. However, as we all know, the Eagles, didn't pull it through, and they did lose the game. And just the next year, T.O. and McNabb start fighting, all sorts of drama happens, and the Eagles end up cutting him in just the second year of his 7-year contract. So it was not a long storied history with the Eagles, but it was one good year, and it was one of the most unusual trades that I have ever heard of. I can't think of a single other time where the same player got traded twice within the same week. But that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting down below, and I will see you later.